Hello, my name is Julia, and I'm a junior at Arizona State University. I'm currently finishing out my summer semester as I pursue my degree in mass communication and media studies. So, for this assignment, we were tasked with making a video for our blogs. And when I first read that we had to create a video, I'm going to be honest, I panicked a little because I have a nasty case of social anxiety and I tend to freeze up when I give presentations or when I have to be recorded. So, I thought that it would be best to choose something that I'm super, super comfortable talking about, and that is books. I'm an avid reader, and I always have been. I tend to average about a book a week, if not every 2 weeks, depending on how busy I am with school and both of my jobs. But the point is that I always have a book on hand that I'm reading in my free time. My parents and my partner actually make the joke that I like books more than I like people, which is 100% true, and I'm not afraid to say it. So, as a frequent reader, I have a fairly concrete idea of what I like and what I don't. I'll give any genre a shot, especially if it's a specific book that is recommended to me. But the genres that I gravitate towards are fantasy, romance, science fiction, and horror, which is actually new for me. This year, I started dabbling more in the horror genre and found that I really enjoyed the way a book could affect my emotions, even if those emotions were uncomfortable and really grossed me out. But one of the biggest draws to reading for me is the escapism factor. I love being immersed and transported into worlds and situations that I don't get to experience in my day to day life. And it's a comforting thought for me to know that no matter how bad my day is at work or whatever I have going on in my life at the present moment, I can sit down, put those feelings away, and escape into a world of magic or monsters or great impossible feats of technology. So I thought that a really great way to showcase my love of reading for my audience would be to talk about one of my favorite books of all time, and that book is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I've read this book many times, but for my birthday this year, my best friend bought me the 10-year anniversary special edition hardcover, and that prompted me to reread it again this year. I would describe this book as heartbreakingly beautiful. It is the story of Achilles and Patroclus as they grow up, meet each other, experience the events of the Trojan War, and ultimately meet their demise at the hands of it. To be honest, the first time I read this book, I cried so hard that I passed out in my bed, which is really embarrassing. But I think it really speaks to just how immersive this book is and how masterfully Madeline Miller can evoke emotion from the reader. It is so heartbreaking because you essentially grow up with these characters and experience their journeys into finding themselves and falling in love and learning what it is to live and what their divine purpose is and how their actions and their consequences affect themselves and those that they hold the closest. One major thing that I especially love about this book is the way that it's written. It is a beautiful combination of poetry and prose, and an example of this is probably the most famous line from the book, and that is, "He is half of my soul, as the poets say. I could recognize him by touch alone, by smell. I would know him blind by the way his breaths came and his feet struck the earth. I would know him in death at the end of the world." Like, one, ow. But two, is that not just the most beautiful way you've ever heard love described between two people? It breaks me every time I read it. But all around, this book is beautiful. It is immersive. It is interesting. It is so sad, but I would recommend it to anybody. I think if anybody hasn't read it, they absolutely should, especially if they love Greek mythology and epic adventures and romance. So, thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see y'all again soon.